Hi, everybody, and welcome to the XYZ of Betting. I'm Kevin Ferguson, MoneyMan. I got Shakes Rampedi, the Shakelator, and Oliver Keohane, the Money Boy. No relation, but his dad is a good friend of mine, so I do consider him a son at times. Shakes, how was your weekend?
Uh, my weekend was a very, very, very bad one. I did not go with my gut. My gut told me something told me that, go with your gut, and bet on the PSL when the bets don't work out. I mean, the thing is about betting is when you put in a multi-bet slip and already Liverpool, the first game, sort of messes it up. You press the rebet and you're like, nah, don't worry, I'm gonna press rebet and I think everything should be fine and everything. And then before you know it, it's not fine. It's not fine. The results did not go the way I would have liked it to go. I think Everton, good example. I mean, Everton just didn't even score anything. Big ups to Leeds. So there was just so many results. Chelsea, Tottenham, disappointed as well. Both teams score. I really genuinely thought that. And then my beloved Arsenal, again, falling down. So it was not a good weekend.
Shakes, you talk about like a gut feel. When we were filming on Thursday and we are trying to find value and looking at the things, my gut told me just don't actually bet this weekend. Just don't bet on anything.
Well, it was the most difficult weekend of football predictions for the year because I think I said that there was one easy game to call. It was Man City versus Burnley.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be 5-0. I thought maybe 2-3-0. And then the second one I think was last night was supposed to be Leicester versus Fulham. Was the second if 1.5 on offer for Leicester to beat Fulham, such as Fulham's form. And all the other ones were even money or better almost. So it was a tough weekend.
Shakes, I went to Kevin yesterday and said, look, I'm like 1,000 rand down from the weekend. 1.5 on Leicester. Should I lump like 2 grand on them to try win back a grand? He was like, don't do it.
I just said, why the fuck would you do that? What have I been teaching you in the last 2 years? And I just went, oh my God, there's an NFL bet tonight, 1.74 on a halftime, full-time. Take that one. Of course, it won. When I look at my NFL, and I was trying to explain this to somebody, it's like they say, how can I know so much about the NFL and American sports? Well, besides growing up there and playing a lot of those sports, if you Google any game in the NFL on Sunday, you will find over 1 million articles about it and research and everything else and stats. Try Googling something like Stormers versus Bulls. You'll find 3 articles maybe, and none of them will be descriptive enough and a breakdown of analytics to give you any sort of guide on it.
You'll find a video with Mark Keohane and James Dalton and the MoneyMan.
Yeah, you'll find a video of this idiot and Mark and James Dalton. I mean, you can't get a worse trio predicting rugby. So the lesson, Ollie, I hope you took away from yesterday was that don't go chasing.
And don't bet on the Premier League at all.
No, but you had a good point earlier on, Shakes. You said that my gut was telling me. Do you know that scientifically, and this is what you do when you get old like me, is you know these things. Scientifically, when your gut tells you something, it happens 85% of the time. Maybe not with gambling, but in terms of your ability to read people, read situations. I mean, we're basically evolved from cavemen, so we've got this built-in sort of defense system, the fight or flight, and we've had to rely on our gut over the centuries to develop a defense survival technique. So when your gut tells you something, choose it. I always say to people when they say, I want to bet on this, and I just say, back your gut. But your gut yesterday, you had a gut rot asking if you should lump down on a 5-10 Leicester, knowing the way that the Premier League season is gone. And what you wanted to do, you were fixated on getting over the profit margin. You wanted to get your 1,000 back so you could get above that thing and say that you were
dictionary definition of chasing. So
it's chasing waterfalls, rainbows, unicorns. Yeah, it was one of those moments that I was ashamed to be almost your dad. It's don't go chasing, folks. I can't say it enough. The bets you don't make and don't lose, just as valuable as the ones that you do.
So what's everyone's account sitting on, Shakes? What are you at?
So currently my account, I went down, guys. I'm currently on 10,520, guys. I lost 550 over the weekend. That's because I was chasing for a little bit, and then I stopped. The Sunday, I completely said I'm not chasing at all today on Sunday. Well, other than the Chelsea Tottenham game, of course. And then yesterday, I decided, why don't I just throw $150 on Leicester to win? And Fulham won that one 2-1, and I said, okay, I'm done. I'm finished. So I'm on 10,520.
Yeah, well, I managed to get back most of my losses from your NFL bet last night. So I started the weekend with 12-4, and now I'm sitting at 11-9. It was worse on Saturday, but thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. So you're down about 8% for the year. Shakes is down about 17%. And I'm up 140%. My account's sitting at 24,000 something.
That's how it should be, yeah.
Well, it's like this XYZ thing is fun, but when I pick these Premier League teams and go, yeah, that one, there's nothing on it. So it's like It's just, I'm not going to lose money, and I don't bet. I mean, you'd have to be crazy to be betting on some of the games with some of the odds. I don't think I had a couple soccer bets last week and I lost both of them.
Yeah.
But the last 5 tips I've put down on the NFL have won. I've got over 75% strike rate now in the NFL. So why would I keep fishing in other ponds when I keep,
For sure.
So I hate to.
I have to admit, Kevin, on all of it, the biggest lesson I learned from this weekend was just stick to what you know.
Yeah.
Just if it's not going right, just stick to what you know.
I know nothing, so I'm a bit lost. Yeah.
Well, look, we've also had to look at value bets and throwing up Hail Marys and stuff like that, which is fun. But with no people in the stadiums. And we'll get into this in the next part of the show in terms of like the good, the bad, and the ugly. But it's a different world out there. It's a different world in terms of the sports punter. I don't know why the NFL is being a happy hunting ground for me. I guess because of the articles and the research that you can do and all that stuff. But it's not easy to make money in the Premier League right now, for sure.
Even in the rugby markets too is usually where that was my strength. And then again, you talk about a gut feel. I said to my dad on Thursday, I think the All Blacks are actually going to pump the Argentinians by like 20 points because they've got that individual ability to go and score 2 tries at the end of the game. And then he was like, nah, look, it's such a cup All Black side, it'll probably still be tight. So then I took Argentina at plus 18.5 at like 1.9 in a multi-bet. And then on 60 minutes, Will Jordan comes on and scores 2 tries, 10 points, which get converted, 14 points in the last 20 minutes of the game, which is exactly what my gut told me would happen.
Yeah. There's just some things you don't do. And one of them is don't bet against your gut.
Yeah.
Don't listen to your pops. Don't listen to me. Whatever your gut tells you, stick with it. At least then you have you don't have this conversation where I told you so. Where we're sitting around, you're like, oh, God, my gut told me this. And it's like, fuck, it's the definition of insanity making those sort of things.
Yeah.
We've all done it. I've chased as well. I used to be called Chippy in when I played basketball in Wales because I lost all my money at a casino and I had to eat chips all week. So I've been there. I mean, it's not something, I'm not being smug or sanctimonious. I have been at the bottom of the barrel chasing. And so, like I said at one of my shows, saw black come up 17 times in a row.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I literally thought that casino was a racist.
Well, funny enough, you speaking about that, Kevin, I'm looking at like my settled bets and I have never seen so much red in my life before. Like
I could have done with some red that night in that casino.
There's just so much red on my bet slips right now. So next time I know what to do next time. Next time I know what to do. If it's not working out, just come back home. Let's bring it back home. And
well, Shakes, you can take some comfort in the fact that if Ollie hadn't been tapping into my NFL picks He'd probably be worse than you.
I would be.
You know, the funny thing you say that, because in my mind I'm thinking you guys have always hinted check out the NFL and check out the NFL, and I'm thinking, you know what, from now on, just maybe I might stick onto the MoneyMan page to also watch the NFL stuff and see what bets to take there too.